Okay, there we go.
Okay, so good morning, everybody, or yes, still good morning. Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon
There is a
for
good afternoon. Yep.
all of. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon. For those of you who are not here, you are missed, and we can't wait to be with you in literally 2 weeks from today. I can't believe it. It just hit me this morning that it is 2 weeks from today that we are all going to be in person together at Zing Train eating coffee cake and all sorts of good stuff. So I'm Anese. I know most of you. I'm Anese Cavanaugh. I founded the IEP methodology and the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative, and have been running this work for the last 21 years now. Our 21st anniversary was a couple of weeks ago. And it's just been really, really fun to watch it grow. We've been doing these sessions, another version of these sessions in Ann Arbor for the last, since I think our first one was in 2015. In fact, Nick, I was going through pictures last night and found all the Image One crew from one of the original sessions we did. It was really fun. So anyway, that's me. We're excited to bring this to you today. I'm going to actually want to introduce Jenny and have Jenny just say a few things to get us here, and then we'll go through what we're going to do with this session.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'll be in the room with you all in a couple of weeks. I'm your director of programming. So anything that you all need as far as getting oriented to the different resources that you have access to, I'll be in the classroom with you. So if you need some support, you'll feel free to grab me and pull me to the side. I'll be able to help in any way I can. And you'll see me throughout the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative community in the platform. I'm the one who's in there running the scenes and making sure to pull Anese into the different programming that we do in there. So I love holding the space for everybody, and I'm here to support you. So happy to be here.
Yeah. Thanks, Jenny. Yeah, Jenny is, for those of you that have known this work for many, many years, what we have in place for you now is something that I dreamed of having in place for people 5 years ago before the pandemic, which is a director of programming, online programming, all these different things to support you. So I'm excited that you all get to experience it. All right, so here's what we're going to do today. We have a very small group. We have a small group for this kickoff session, and we also have a small group for the event, ironically. So which actually works out really, really beautifully for each of you, because essentially what's happened, excuse me one second, Booker, sorry, Booker does this thing where when he knows that I'm responsible for being with people, he does everything he can to make sure I'm not present. He's my dog. So, all right. So normally when we do these sessions, we have a larger group. But sometimes we do very special sessions, which we limit. We don't let more than 6 to 8 people in them. And when we do that, those are more of an executive session. We get to dig in deeper with you on your presence. We get to really, really hands-on do some beautiful work. This session that we're doing in September is the first time we've actually opened up a session since before the pandemic. When the pandemic started, what we ended up doing was we turned everything virtual, and we made it so that these sessions, you could only do them if you bought them privately as a company, because the public stuff was just really tough. Well, everyone wins for this one, because you guys are getting a very intimate session. I think we've got 8 people, unless we have more that decide to join. We have 8 people plus Jenny and I, which means we're going to be a lot more hands-on. You're going to essentially be getting executive training education, and you still get all the good stuff that you already signed up for. So I just want to preface this with saying intimate groups are good, and you're part of one of them. So is everyone good with that? Cool. Okay. Nick, I think when your group came, we had 36 people in the room, and it was crazy. Like nobody got special attention. So with that being said, what we'd love to do is just go around and have you put your voice in the room just to say hi. I would love to hear who you are, where you're from, and what you really want to get out of this session. And then we'll go ahead. We'll do more when we're together in September, but let's just start with that. And then we've got a couple of things that we're going to be doing today to really, really, really get you primed for the 14th. Okay. Okay.
And do you mean the session today or the training session?
Training. Thank you, Jenny. Yeah, the training. Thank you. This is why we have a program
Here for y'all.
Lori, you're off of mute. Would you like to kick us off?
Uh, so I'm Lori Lieberman. I am a supervising attorney in the pre-suit department at Sam Bernstein Law Firm. We are located in, I don't know if everybody is in Michigan, but we are located in Farmington Hills, Michigan. Born and raised here, did undergrad in Washington, D.C., and then came home for law school and never left. 2 kids. I am a blended family, so my husband also had 2 kids, so I say I have 4. I have 2 grandchildren. One was just added 2 weeks ago, so he's a newbie. And then I have another granddaughter on the way in December, end of December. Have a dog who we adore. He runs the household. It is Franklin's world, and we all just live in it. And what I really hope to get out of it is, so in my role all day long, I hear there's a lot of negative. People aren't always happy with decisions that either I make, decisions that they hear from clients, adjusters, or each other. And they seem to kind of absorb all of it and carry the negativity without them for the remainder of the day, or truthfully, sometimes for the week.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to be able to hear you. I understand you, but then let's turn it around to a more positive attitude. The glass shouldn't always be half empty. It should really be half full. So what is our good takeaway from this? And that's really what I'm looking to get out of it.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Sorry. You have to forgive me. So there's going to be a little bit of me like being a little bit verklempt, I think, today, just because I'm so excited to get all of you in the room. I don't even know if I used that word right, but what you just said, Lori, is exactly a big piece of what we're going to be doing is how do you actually handle navigating all the stuff that's coming at you, the negativity, because God knows there's a lot of negativity in the world right now, like always, but it feels like right now, especially. How do you handle all that? How do you actually reframe it in a way that's authentic and doesn't make people wrong for it? So great. I'm glad you'll definitely be working on that and a lot more. So thank you for that.
One of the things that we had learned years ago in one of your training sessions was, the plastic bubble, the bubble up.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you that has been, so I use it with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I call them the littles, so the 20-year-old and the 23-year-old, where everything is personalized and everything hurts our feelings. And okay, what do we talk about? Let's, where's your protective bubble? Let's bubble up. Let's not, is that really personal to you, or is that just a general? So I do want to tell you that has been very helpful through the years.
Good.
So thank you.
Well, good. And we've also, you'll be really happy to know then that we've expanded that practice and we've added on a lot more. There are now 70 different tools and frameworks and resources to support people in different ways with those with the IEP methodology. So you're good. You're in great hands. Thank you very much for kicking us off. Who would love to go next? Nick?
Yep.
I'm dying to hear your voice. Yeah.
I can go next. So my name is Nick Heighton. I am Vice President of Service here at Image One. I've been with Image One for about 12 years. In fact, when I think we all came up back in whenever it was you say 2015? I had only been with the company at that point for I think about 4 years then, and was in a very, very different role. But as far as like some of my background, I'm in Cleveland area. I'm just south of Cleveland. Obviously Image One, we're based out, or not obviously, some of you may not know this, but we're based out of the Detroit area in Oak Park, Michigan. We are involved with a lot of communities that really are focused around positivity and positive workspace. Including this organization, Positive Organizational Scholarship, which I think also in Ann Arbor, out of UNM, and several other groups such as Small Giants, Tugboat, what have you. So we definitely see a lot of value in this. As far as me personally, I have I have two kids. They're both one's 10, one is 7. They are both very involved in hockey. In fact, that takes up like most of my life outside of work. So my son plays pretty high level travel hockey. So we travel literally all over the country. Sometimes for him to play as a 10-year-old, which still seems ridiculous to me, but it's what it is. Um, as far as what I'm really looking to get out of things is really a almost like that intentional energy on steroids. When Josh approached me like several weeks ago, he's like, "Hey man," he's like, I think this might be just what you need." Just like everyone else. I mean, dealing with things that go on in their worlds. There's just been a lot of complex like people matters, a lot of customer issues, just like kind of the transition between like the office environment, the work from home, and it's just created I mean internalized situations where it's how I'm showing up like both in the office and then transferring to like that life balance at home. I'm showing up for my family, affecting sleep, like things like that. Even when trying to use some of the practices and stay positive, it eventually gets to that point where it's like, all right, it's hard to sustain, and knowing that that's not the way I want to show up. So that is really where I'm looking to take advantage and hopefully get some more nuggets out of it.
Good. Well, we got you. We got you, Nick. We really do. I'm so happy. It's really funny because I think that even as we're just hearing you start to make your introductions, what always becomes clear for me in these pre-sessions is what are the core themes we're going to be really wanting to make sure we double down on. Because after this, Jenny and I go away. We're already holding an energetic container for you since you signed up. But after this, we go away and we really start to look at, okay, here are the modules we want to really double down on. So are you guys starting to see some themes that are bubbling up already, even just from the first two? So, and Image One is one of the best organizations ever. I am thrilled that you guys are coming. I was so happy when Josh said he wanted to send you. So happy. So thank you for being here and thank you for sharing. Laura or Kim?
Yeah, I can go next. So I'm Laura Lazar, the other LL at the Sam Bernstein Law Firm. We typically get our emails interchanged a lot. Yes, I'm the HR director. I've been with the firm just under 2 years now. So unfortunately, I was not a part of the other session where you were with the firm, but we've been talking back and forth. So I'm very excited that we're finally able to get something going. So I'm coming to the event along with 4 other leaders. Unfortunately, we weren't able to bring everyone. So really hoping to get out of this, not only skills for myself, but to bring back to some of the other leaders. Really just on fostering, kind of going off what Lori said, a more supportive, collaborative work environment. We have seen a lot more stress with the hybrid and remote, although so many people wanted to stay remote, didn't want to come back in the office. I think they're like losing sight of the big picture.
Yeah.
It seems like we're hearing a lot more of, well, they want this, and the they is referring to, I believe, like senior leadership, and not thinking that we have their best interest in mind at all times. So just trying to bring back that collaboration, reducing stress.
Yeah. Are just real quick, Laura, are you all, what's the situation now? Is it that you're hybrid or are you mostly back, or how are you working it for your organization right now?
So we offered either remote, which we still ask people who are within a reasonable distance to come in 2 times a month. We're not like taking attendance or doing anything
Okay.
to really, what was that?
2 times a month, not 2 times a week.
And then the other option is hybrid.
Okay.
And that's coming in 2 days a week. We kind of put the structure down of coming in Tuesday and Thursday to try to get everyone in on the same day. I'd say about 40% chose hybrid and 60% chose remote.
Okay.
But we are seeing more people in the office, and I do see those days in the office. People do tend to have a better attitude, but I want them to be able to take that back home with them and, still utilize the tools to reach out, that communication, so that they feel supported when they are working from home.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. What we're finding is, I mean, everyone's doing, it feels like every company is doing this a little bit differently, but what we're finding is that the IEP tools are even more important when you have remote and hybrid and all these combinations, and that they really translate in helping to keep people engaged. So that's good. So it's good to know. Are you still in the same office space you were in about, I don't know, 5-6 years ago?
Yeah.
Same place. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, I am very excited to have you in the room. Kim.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Ahern, and I actually come from outside in beautiful North Carolina today, which is the first day we can go outside without incredible heat and rain. So blessed to be here doing that. I work for United Airlines. I'm a director of sales leadership there. Airlines, if you on the outside, great things. We get you connected from here to there. It's a great airline, but behind the scenes, man, it's amazing those planes fly when you know all of the inside and outs of them. And I've been with the airlines for quite a long time, and there is a lot of drama under the wing. A lot of really good stuff, a lot of really good people, but a lot of drama. So through COVID, it's been a rather challenging time. I've been through the airline industry now for about 28 years. So I've been through 9/11. I've been through all types of business changes, and this last one through COVID has really clearly hit everyone hard, but certainly the airlines really changed the way we do business, and we're shifting our sales team from the old ways of doing business to the new ways of doing business. And there's a lot of resistance in there. There's a lot of old thinking and a lot of baggage. I've got some really great, talented, experienced salespeople that have the most high energy and experience, but then anything negative comes in and they just down to their knees. We're back to the trenches, back to the old way. Everyone's getting, in fact, we just had a layoff of 2 people today. And so the teams are spinning again, no matter how many times we reset them in their positions and their jobs, which then takes all of our momentum and all of our energy down. So I want to get us to a bit more of a level of consistency. I have followed Anese for quite a while. I don't have any formal training under her programs other than reading some of her books and spending some time with her, but I'm really anxious to learn more. I practice a lot of this myself. It works for me. I have 2 boys in college. I think it's been instrumental in my being a mom with them as well. So I love this type of energy management work. Never really had the framework, the words, or the tools. So I'm hopeful that from this session, I'll have more of those to be able to bring back to my teams. And kind of that background to say that what I do actually is certified and does work more beyond just do what I say, how I say it, how I present. I try to lead by example, but I get a lot of resistance. So I'm anxious and excited for the time.
Okay, well, we're here for it. We're 100% here for it. We don't say this publicly because, well, anyway, we love United Airlines. United Airlines is our favorite airline. So
Yes, it's all the behind the scenes stuff. They're a great airline. We're a great airline.
We're really honored to have you joining us, and really excited about you. You've been in some of the executive forums lately and everything, and so it's been fun to get to know you a little bit better. And I am excited to see how we can support you in a couple of weeks, and for all of you to really look at how do you use this content for yourself, and then how do you pay it forward with your people. And so just to kind of give you a little sneak peek to what we're going to be doing is the first day we all get together, we're going to be digging into 100% you, and we'll reframe this when we're together in person. So don't worry about remembering all of it. But essentially that first day, I want you to all be so selfish. I want you to be so selfish. Selfishness is a leadership skill, and you'll see why. And the main thing is this, is that if you're not taken care of, and if you're not doing the work for yourself, and if you're not nourishing your own energy and nourishing what you need, then I don't care how credentialed you are, or how much you care, or whatever. There's no way in the world you're going to be able to perform and serve and give at your best possible. There's just no way. So day 1, we're going to ask you to be so selfish. So between now and when we're together, I want you to just really start to notice, where does your energy contract? What are the things that are happening in your life that are like, oh, where do you get hooked? Where do you get hooked into things? And this can be anything. I had a meltdown yesterday over Dropbox. Okay. So like, this can be, Jenny's laughing because she witnessed it. This can be anything, like environmental stuff that's not working for you in your environment. It could be relational stuff. It can be dynamics you've got going on with your team. It can be the way you're eating. It can be the fact that you're maybe not taking care of yourself because you're so busy taking care of everyone else. So I just want you to just really, for the next 2 weeks, and for the people watching this later to prepare, just want you to become really aware of where does your energy drop and where do you feel really, really good. And one recommendation is to get yourself a journal now, start fresh, brand new journal, so that you can start make it your IEP journal, right? So you can start to keep track of this. And so day 1, we're gonna be all about you, totally selfish. Day 2, we're gonna start talking about everybody else. We're gonna start talking about, all right, how do you navigate the negativity? How do you navigate conflict? How do you give someone feedback when their energy really is just sucking the life out of the room? How do you do that in a way that doesn't make them wrong, but actually inspires them to shift? You know, how do you proactively design relationships? You know, I think one of the big themes, especially with hybrid work and all the changes and layoffs and everything, is really revisiting what it means now to design a relationship and to have that relationship align with the shared purpose that you're all working towards. So we will dig into that a little bit on that second day. So day 1, selfish, all for you. Day 2, still all for you. But then we're going to start looking at how do you bring this back now, and how do you start to lovingly redirect the energy of your workforce so that you guys are set up better. The other thing that's going to happen, and this is something we did not have in place in the past, but the other thing that's going to happen is we've given you all access to the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative platform. And on that platform are learning labs around feedback, conflict navigation, agreements, all sorts of stuff. You have access to that. So go ahead and go crazy while you have access to it. We're going to give you, you've got access now. You're going to have access for a while afterwards. We're going to see, we're kind of leaving it. Jenny, do you want to speak to how we're thinking about leaving it a little bit loose around how long they have access afterwards?
I would love to. So everyone knows that we have our post session after the training. So that'll be 2 weeks afterwards. What I'd like to do is obviously continue to let you have access to the platform after the training and up until that post session. And then I'd like to do a check-in with everybody and see how you're doing. Do you feel like you've gotten the most out of it that you want? Have you pursued your completion badges and things like that? Do you need a little bit more time? Because we want to make sure that you experience it as fully as you're able to within this time frame, with the intent that if you want to continue on, you feel confident that that's the right decision for you. So we're going to leave that a little bit open until that post session so we can check in, and then I'll let everyone know kind of like, okay, here's our deadline that we all want to be working towards. And then you'll get to decide if you want to stay or if you're ready to be done with it. Yeah.
Our vision for that platform is that eventually we have people like you guys get in, you start doing the work. You're now in the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative. We set it up really beautifully so that, let's just say you decide you want to continue. We set it up so it's very easy to say yes to continuing in it. And then if you want to invite other people from your organizations on so they have access to those tools directly, then we look at how we do that for you as teams. So the vision is this container is designed to support this cohort of 8 to get through this training and to really, the saddest thing that ever happens when we do sessions, the saddest thing, and this makes like I get tears in the back of my eyes just thinking about it, is that somebody comes to us at the end of the 2-day session and says, oh, I wasn't fully present. I didn't get everything I could out of the session. Shoot, I'm realizing I should have paid more attention or whatever. Or they get access to the platform. And then we just literally had this happen. I won't go into the thing, but they get access. They don't take advantage of it. And then they lose their access and they come back and they go, oh my God, I really wanted my credential. I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to come back in. And then we can't let them back in unless they're sponsored by the organization. So all to say, I'll get the little violin out, all to say, so I we really encourage you to take full advantage of everything you got access to, because we are giving you everything because we care very much that you have this content to support you in your leadership. So there's my song and dance. I'll leave it there. All right, so that's what'll happen. So day one, selfish. Day two, will serve. Afterwards, you'll have some follow-up stuff that you can really start to dig into more deeply. You know, one of the things that will happen is when we're together for those 2 days, you're going to become aware of new things that you probably are not aware of right now. You know, and so that might be, wow, I'm conflict averse. I really don't like to have conflict. And so maybe the conflict navigation module is something that's going to help you. It might be that you go, oh my gosh, I have some trauma. This every once in a while, this does happen. I have some trauma that I actually need some real support around. So a lot of times people come to these sessions and they realize, oh my gosh, I need to get a little bit of extra help around my mental health, or some therapy around this thing that happened when I was 10, or, you know, gosh, I want to get into marriage counseling, or wow, I really want to start working with a nutritionist. So I don't know what will happen for you, but just, I would like to kind of plant the seed of just to come totally open, and in service of your best leadership and your best well-being. And it's going to be fun to see what unfolds, especially with this size of a group. We'll be doing a lot of round discussion with a small group. You guys will be working together in pairs. Everything that happens in the session is 100% confidential. We don't record, we don't bring cameras in. We'll probably take a couple of pictures just because pictures are really fun. But we really create a sacred space for you so it stays within the session, and we'll design that as a group when all of us are together in person. But just know that you're coming into a really beautiful, safe space. So Jenny, what's your inkling right now? What would you like to do? I kind of jumped the line on some of the stuff we were going to talk about because we got right into it. But are you feeling some visualization right now? Exercise?
Yeah, I was wondering how everybody's energy is right now.
Yeah.
So we downloaded a lot of information. So maybe an energy check.
Let's do it. Let's
Okay.
do it. All right. So take a nice deep breath. And just check in. You guys did just get a download of information. 0 to 10, how's your physical energy? 0, you are exhausted. You want to go back to bed? It's shocking you're here. 10, you feel amazing. You could run a marathon or do whatever it is that you do when you're at a 10. And just go ahead, you show fingers. Five. Okay, good. 5, 7. Okay, good. All right. So remember, or if this is new to you, there's no right or wrong answer here. This is just information for us. So I want you to take a nice deep breath, and I want you to just ask yourself, like, what do you need right now? What does your body need? Do you need to stretch out, breathe, coffee, bathroom, sleep? Anybody need sleep? Okay, so here's the thing with the sleep is that you're not going to sleep right now, obviously, but you do want to make yourself a promise that you're going to give yourself more sleep tonight. You know, so the thing with physical energy is that we tend to walk around and we're not really paying attention to what's happening in our body. We're just so busy and up here. And then what happens is our system is getting depleted. And from a depleted system, it's really hard to stay present and to give what we want to give. So you want to be checking in all the time. And this is something to do over the next 2 weeks. Just start noticing, where's your physical energy at? And how does what you're eating impact it? How does how you're sitting, your sleep, all of it? Just start to notice what supports you and what does not support you in terms of physical energy. And what you can do right now is you can just make yourself a promise that tonight you're going to get more sleep. Or right now in this moment, if you came in at a 5 and you're feeling good at a 5, just stay there. But if you want to bring it up to a 6, you want to look at what's the little thing I can do right now to bring myself up a little bit. And 9 times out of 10, that has to do with breathing and posture. Right? It's also something I have total control over. I have total control over my physical energy. I mean, I might have, you know, kids waking me up and all these different things happen. So I might not have total control over it from that standpoint, but I do have control over noticing it and then being in relationship with my body and going, okay, tonight, instead of watching TV, I'm going to go to bed an hour earlier. Right now, I'm going to make sure that I drink a little bit more water. right? So there's your physical energy. So for the next 2 weeks, just be noticing physical energy, and then notice what you do to shift it for yourself that works. It's also interesting to start noticing how it affects everything else. So the next level we want to look at is your mental energy. So mental energy is 0. You're like the 0, 0 to 10. 0, you're here and we see you, but you're totally not present. Like you're thinking about everything going on out there. You're worrying about what's happening after the session. You're just, your mind's going a million miles a minute. So you're not here, but we see you. You're checked out. And 10 is you're so present, like this is all that's happening right now. Where would you put yourself? And there's no right or wrong answer. Okay, 8, 3, okay, good. 6, 7, good. So so this is great. I love the honesty here. So you want to look at, again, -4 is totally welcome, but you just want to look at what's keeping you from being present. What's keeping you from being present? And if it's that there's something that you've got to take care of, then you want to just give yourself a timeout and go take care of it, or write it on a piece of paper, because I promise you it's going to be here in 27 minutes still. Like it'll still be here. So do whatever you need to do to let yourself actually come fully present into the room. A lot of times people are not present because they're in a state of judgment or frustration or whatever. Like, let's just say George is my pick on person, especially because we have no Georges in the room. So George and Georgette, a lot of times George, I'm talking to George, and the whole time I'm talking to George, I'm in judgment. I'm thinking, I don't know why George is doing this. I don't know why he's wearing this. Why are we doing an energy check right now? Like I'm in judgment. I'm not actually present to George. So if I notice myself in judgment with George and there's a disconnection, if I take a nice deep breath and just notice I'm not present, right there, I'm back present with him. Does that make sense? Or if I'm in judgment, if I can shift my frame to get into curiosity, like, gosh, I wonder why George always does this. I wonder why it's hard to connect with George. I wonder why we keep having this conversation. If I shift my mindset, I'm now more present with George. So mental energy, you just want to check it. A lot of times it literally is just about not being aware that you weren't present. We find that 9 times out of 10, it's just that I just checked out. I just didn't realize it. So bring yourself back in. And then the last one you want to look at is you want to look at your vibrational energy. And your vibrational energy is what you're actually bringing into the room. And we're really going to get to play with this in a couple weeks together. Because you can feel it. Like, do you guys notice how you can feel, whether we're on Zoom or Teams or in a room together, do you notice how you can feel the energy of people around you? You notice it? You're talking to them and all of a sudden, Laura, you're having a conversation and all of a sudden you just start to feel exhausted. Anybody have this happen? You're talking to someone, you start feeling tired. You just caught their vibe. There's something, the lowest vibration in the room is winning. So you can't control them at all, but you can control you. So the place to start controlling you is to start noticing, what is your vibe that you're bringing into the room? What's your vibrational energy? So 0, you're sucking the life out of the room. It's just like, it's hard to be sitting here on screen with you. Your energy is just, we all know what this feels like, right? Like it's painful to even imitate it, but it's like 0, you're sucking life out of the room. And 10, you're so present. You're so clear. Your intentions are so good. You're so here that it feels good to have you here. You don't have to say a word for the whole session. We just feel better knowing you're here in the room. So where would you put yourself? 0 to 10. I'm feeling your 9, Jenny. I'm feeling it. Yeah. This one's harder. I know. Don't be bashful. Good. 6. Okay. Yeah. 8. Okay. How about you, Nick? But 4. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. It's really hard to read our own vibrational energy, but what I want for you is just the awareness. Because the minute we have awareness around like, oh, my presence has impact, like I might actually, if I'm in a room and I'm really miserable, so this is a fun thing to experiment with, and you can keep playing with this over the next couple of weeks. If I'm on a thing and I'm really miserable, the minute I notice that, my first clue is to check my own vibe and see, what am I bringing into that room? to check in with myself, because 9 times out of 10, if I'm really miserable in a room, I am not contributing to that room very positively, energetically. I've gotten sucked into the lowest vibe. I've gotten sucked into drama, whatever. So when you check your own energy, you take a nice deep breath and you just kind of reboot, and we'll work more on this when we're together, but you just kind of do a reboot and go, oh, wow, I'm really kind of bringing in a low energy. Now I'm back to presence. It doesn't mean that I'm bouncing off the walls and I've gone to a 10, but now I'm more present and I can be more discerning and more in control of how I want to work with the room, versus just getting sucked into it and then leaving absolutely exhausted. Right. So your homework between now and the 14th is just to be paying attention to those 3 things: your physical energy, your mental energy. Just notice, when do you check out? Notice how quickly you can get back. You know, it's impossible to stay present the whole time. Impossible. There's just no such thing. So I think they said that you can stay present for 10 seconds at a time. I hope it's more than that, but that's the number I heard, was 10 seconds. So the idea is, it's not about being present all the time. It's about your ability to reboot, to just notice, oh, I just checked out, I'm coming back. Oh, I just checked, I'm coming back. And then notice how that impacts your vibe. Okay. Those are the 3 things to be paying attention to. Jenny, is there anything you want to add to that I'm missing?
I'm going to be putting the homework notes in the recording notes, just so everyone knows.
What's really fun is, in the olden days, when we would just get everyone to the room right off the bat, in the olden days, when we get everyone, we didn't have these pre-sessions.
Yeah.
So we are getting a 2-week head start to have you start doing this, because normally you would just come in, you'd have this time to reflect overnight to notice it. So this really is, we really are working on getting this into your DNA over the next 2 weeks before we even get there, because then we're going to be able to do even more with this work. We'll go faster, but we'll go further, faster, because we went slower.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say, I'll just add also that there's no pressure. Like, we're not, there won't be a test. Let this be a seed that gets planted and starts to germinate.
Yeah.
And just notice what comes up for you around that. And I'm going to give you the prompts, and I'll put it in their recording homework and everything like that. But really, there's no pressure. Anese and I are not going to be like, you didn't do it.
No, we just, the thing with this work, and we get this reflected back to us, like, it's been a long time doing this. I think one of the number one things we get reflected back to us is about how much just doing the work shifted people's awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that without awareness, we suffer and we struggle. We struggle because we don't understand, like, why am I not having the impact I want to have? Why is this person making me, feel terrible? Why am I so exhausted all the time? Without awareness, we struggle. With awareness, we actually then we get to a place of choice. And when we're at choice, we have power. So 70% of the IEP methodology is in your awareness. And then that other 30% is what you actually do with it. So, which is really, really cool, because nobody can take this away from you. Nobody can take your ability to be intentional away from you. Nobody can take your ability to really manage your energy and be thoughtful about how you're taking care of yourself. And nobody can take away your presence from you. Like, these are all things that you make an active choice around. So the awareness is where we really want to start getting you even more solid. And then we will give you the tools of how do you actually what are the tangible tools that make you even better at doing what you're doing. Any questions so far? Does this feel used? Are you glad you're coming? Okay, good. Everyone's still coming.
I'm out.
No, never mind. I don't want all this awareness. All right. So here's what we want to do. We would love to have you just take a few minutes and to just kind of think about this for yourself and write some notes down. You went through as a group and just said what's like the high level thing you want. But now what I'd love for you to do is I'd love for you to answer what is important to you about this work, specifically for you selfishly. And you don't even have to, we're not going to ask you to share it. We just want you to have this reflection. Why did you sign up? And it may be different than what you shared publicly. Go to your heart on this one. Why is this so important? And then when you're done with that one, when you feel complete with that one for now, because you can percolate on these over the next few weeks, but the next one I want you to write down is just, what are 3 things you want to make sure you get out of the training? What are three very specific things? At the end of the training, I want this, this, and this for myself. Once you have that, go ahead and what's one commitment you'd like to make to yourself during this training experience? What's one commitment? And this could be for those 2 days, but it could also be starting effective now. What's one commitment you want to make to yourself during this experience? Okay, and then this one is an inquiry. This is just for you to take and let this kind of percolate. So you don't have to answer this. This is just something like write it down in your journal and then just sit with it. But who are you becoming? I also have a big question. Like, who are you becoming? You can look at it in 2 ways. Who are you becoming in your life right now? Or who do you want to become? Who do you want to become? And we'll be doing some work on this on day 1 when we're together. But I really want you to start thinking about, like, we are always becoming. We're either becoming more and more of who we want to be in the world and the way that we want to lead, or we're actually getting further away from it, or we're just kind of beige and stuck. So you're becoming, you have become, you've shifted, you've changed since you got on this call. You're not the same person today, right now at 45 after that you were when we first started. You've got new information, you've got new things to be thinking about. So it's a worthy inquiry to be thinking about, who am I becoming as a leader, as a parent, as a human, whatever. And also, who do I want to become? So just think about it. We have so much, I think this is one of the things that excites me the most about the human spirits. We have so much control over that. But so often we forget because we're so busy reacting to everything. There's not a lot of intentionality behind it. So if you can start to put some intention around that, and then you manage your IEP, and then you do some of the stuff we're going to be working on together, they change the game. So I think that's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So any questions or anything from that? Questions or comments? Are you guys all in reflection now? Okay, cool. All right. So then we're gonna get you out of here. I think we're gonna get you out of here a few minutes earlier. There's some good best practices you can start playing with right now. There's the IEP sheet in the platform. And actually I'm gonna come back to a second and have Jenny, if you want to talk about that and how they can get to it and everything, that would be great. But here's two main things I want you to know for this session is that I highly recommend that you put an out of office on your 2 days, the 14th and the 15th, to let people know you're gone. If you can stay totally connected to the content if you can give yourself 2 days to not be checking email on breaks and running out for phone calls, I promise you, you will get even more out of the session. And I know that's not always possible, so there's no rule around it, but it's just an invitation. As much as you can, let your people know, I'm going to be gone, I'm going to be off the grid. It will pay off in spades for people that gave you the space to do the work. The second thing is that your presence is your impact for these sessions. So we will start on time. We will start at 10 o'clock each day and we'll finish up at 5:30. We will start on time, end on time. We'll come back from breaks on time. We're feeding you a lot, actually. I kept adding food to the menu yesterday. I can't help it. I want to feed everybody. And so we will start on time. So please do whatever you need to do to make sure that you're there on time. The room will open up 15 minutes in advance. But you won't be able to get in the room until 15 minutes in advance. There is a little area outside where you can wait. So if you do get there earlier, there's a coffee shop across the street. They've really done a nice job with the venue. But just know that we will start and especially with a small group, it's even more obvious if you're late. So just please do everything you can to be on time. And the other thing is that we purposely start these meetings at 10 o'clock so that you have your morning clear to exercise, eat well, take care of yourself. If you absolutely have to get email done and stuff like that, you've got a little bit of time in the morning. And so just know that the everything that we do with these sessions is incredibly intentional down to when we open the doors and when we actually kick off the session. So questions about that? No? Okay. Jenny, you want to talk about the IEP sheet and intro to IEP?
I do. So we are creating as an inclusive experience as we can. And obviously our preference is that you're able to get on the PUE community platform, access all of the resources there. But if that's not your jam, that's totally understandable. We have a resources page that you received a link to that is available still and will be updated with the recordings from today, the IEP sheet. And if you need access to Intro to IEP, just let me know if you don't want to access it through the platform and I'll get you connected so that you can have that access. The other thing is there is an orientation that's on the platform that makes it really, really easy to get the latest quick start of how to get in. So I highly recommend checking that out if you haven't already. Otherwise, please do feel free to reach out to me if you're having trouble locating any resources. It's not a problem for me just to give you a quick link and I'll direct you right where you need to go. But the IEP sheet is a really important tool that we use that we'll be diving into a little bit more. So if you're able to have that be one of the things that you definitely check out before we're in the room together, we would highly recommend that.
Yeah, and I really, from the bottom of my heart, really, really recommend you access Intro to IEP and everything through the platform. It's just a better experience. You've got community. I know some of you are already in there, which is fantastic, but you've got community in there. You've got, you can get your credentials in there. You've got a 30-day IEP sheet challenge. It's just a better experience. And to Jenny's point, if you're like, I don't like platforms, then she can get you something separately, but it's good. It's still good. We still have a lot of companies that just do that alone, but this is better. So just get on the platform. All right, Jenny, you want to send us home? Bring us home with this last bit?
Yeah. So looking ahead, you all can expect to receive an email from me later this afternoon with the recording. You're also going to receive a menu so that you can start looking through the lunch options that you'd like to choose for day 1 and day 2. We'll be ordering from Zingerman's Deli. So the instructions will be on that order sheet for you. Later next week, I'll be sending through one more email to you with the final, here's the logistics, reminders where to park, where to look for signs, things like that. So we won't send that out till later next week because it would get lost in everybody's inbox though. So keep an eye out for that as well. And there's a couple little final requirements. I'll reach out to you directly if I'm missing anything, because we have our coaching agreement, which ensures that we're creating a safe space for everyone. And a couple other little steps that everyone should have already received, but I'm keeping track. So if you're not sure if you've completed your requirements before getting in the room, just let me know and I'll let you know what I've got on hand. Okay. So again, please feel free to start taking advantage of your access to the platform. We actually have another network Q&A session that's coming up. I think some of you have already seen that and RSVP'd. That's going to be on September 21st. And that's an office hours type space that could be an added bonus for you all. If you have any questions about the methodology or the platform or anything like that, we'll be hosting that. And our theme for September is going to be announced very, very soon. You'll all receive a notification about that. Our theme for September in the PUE community is tracking and measuring success, which is very apropos for this training that we're all going to be experiencing together. Identifying what success means to you, how to track it, how to encourage your teams to be able to note that and track it. So feel free to participate as much or as little as you'd like with that, but we do a monthly theme. And so we timed that just for you. And again, we'll let you know as far as the time period for access and things like that. We want to make this a really organic, meet you where you're at process. Obviously, it's not going to go on for like months and months or anything, but we want to give you the time that you need to have access if that is something that you want. And we'll let you know what those options are later on so that you can decide if you want to stay or not. All right.
Do we, just a real quick question, I'm just thinking about this right now in this moment. Do we want them to take any assessment now before they get to the session? Do we want them to take the mini one or
would you like that?
Oh, sorry, we're having a little side facilitator moment. So I'll give you all the option. If you would like to take the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative diagnostic, we have a 55 question diagnostic you are welcome to take, and I would take it now. I would take it sooner than later. There's also a mini one that we've got a spider graph on that's only I think it's like 13 questions. So we'll put it in your circle on the platform. So if you want to do that because you like to kind of see where am I at now, where am I going, then you're welcome to it. We'll make it optional.
Spoiler alert, the full diagnostic is one of the requirements for your certification. So I would recommend doing that one and I can link to it because you would want to do it anyway to make that one of your checklist requirements.
Okay, good. Great. Okay, great. Okay,
but
great.
I can put the mini in there too if that's something that is anyone's interested in.
Yeah, the mini is just the big one is the one that we use. So when we work with teams or we work with organizations, we do the big one to help us really get a sense of like what are the themes and where do you guys need the most help and where can we connect the content in the platform for you easier. So for all of you doing that individually, it's just going to be good for you to kind of just see where you're at. The little one is something we made. It was more for fun. So Jenny will put it in there. It's just more of a quick, like, I like to think of it as do it once a month just to see how you're personally shifting with your IEP. So you are welcome to either, if you want your credential, you do have to do the first one.
It's not hard.
It's not hard. It'll take you about 10 minutes. It's not hard at all.
Yeah.
It's not hard at all. And it's confidential and it's easy. So okay, I'll stop.
Good thought though.
I think we're gonna let you all have 5 minutes of your life back. It's an abundant world, so go do something really great with your 5 minutes, unless anybody has questions or needs anything, requests.
Just a quick thank you. I needed this on a Thursday. It's intense here, so it's nice to have this moment and reset with you, honestly.
Amazing.
So thank you.
Thanks, Kim. Good. I'm glad you're here. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
thank you. Have a good weekend, holiday weekend, everyone.
See you all soon.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Looking forward to it. Bye.